When we think of Christmas, we imagine lit trees, gifts, and a feast full of delights. But have you ever stopped to wonder how it all began? Christmas, as we know it today, has a history filled with mysteries, traditions, and even political strategies. In this video, we'll travel back in time to uncover the true origins of this celebration. Was Jesus really born on December 25th? And how did pagan festivities influence what we now call Christmas? Get ready for a fascinating journey that will change how you see this special holiday. Pre-Christian pagan festivities. Long before Christmas was celebrated as the birth of Jesus Christ, various cultures held grand festivities at the end of December. These celebrations had a common theme: renewal and the triumph of light over darkness. This time of year, marked by the winter solstice, symbolized hope as the sun's light began to reclaim the days after the darkest period of the year. Let's explore some of the most influential pagan festivities that shaped the Christmas traditions we know today. Saturnalia, the great Roman festival. One of the most famous ancient celebrations was Saturnalia, a Roman festival dedicated to Saturn, the god of agriculture. Held between December 17th and 23, this festival marked the end of the agricultural year and sought blessings for future harvests. Saturnalia was, at its core, a time of social reversals and unrestricted merriment. During Saturnalia, societal norms were temporarily suspended. Slaves and masters switched roles, with slaves being symbolically served by their masters. Roman courts closed and punishments were paused, creating an atmosphere of freedom and equality. This spirit of relaxation made Saturnalia a highly anticipated event for all social classes. Another distinctive feature of Saturnalia was the exchange of gifts, particularly simple items like candles and clay figurines. These gifts carried symbolic meanings. Candles, for example, represented the return of light to the longer days following the solstice. This gift-giving tradition endured and became a central element of modern Christmas. Additionally, homes were adorned with greenery and wreaths, a practice that later influenced Christmas decorations. The festive atmosphere, filled with banquets and games, made Saturnalia a celebration of hope and renewal. Natalis Solis Invicti, the birth of the unconquered sun. Another significant Roman festival was Natalis Solis Invicti, or Birth of the Unconquered Sun, celebrated on December 25th. This date marked the return of light and the sun's victory over the long winter nights. The Sun Invictus, or Unconquered Sun, was a deity associated with strength and renewal, particularly popular among Roman soldiers. The choice of December 25th was no accident. This date marked the conclusion of winter solstice celebrations and symbolized the beginning of light's triumph. This powerful symbolism was later adopted by Christianity, which associated the birth of Jesus Christ, the light of the world, with this date. The cult of Sol Invictus was especially promoted by Emperor Aurelian in the 3rd century. By unifying the festivals of various cultures under this divine figure, he sought to consolidate the Roman Empire around a common celebration. This cultural unification helped establish December 25th as a significant date, which was later repurposed by the Christian Church. Yule, the Nordic winter solstice festival. In Northern Europe, the Germanic and Nordic peoples celebrated Yule, a festival dedicated to the winter solstice. Yule was a time of reverence for nature and the cycles of life, marking the period when the sun began to return, bringing hope for survival and abundance in the coming year. One of the best-known Yule traditions was the burning of the Yule log, a massive piece of wood set ablaze as an offering to the gods. It was believed that the fire warded off evil spirits and ensured prosperity. This tradition evolved and is symbolically preserved in the fireplaces of modern Christmas celebrations. Evergreen trees, which remained vibrant even in harsh winters, and mistletoe, a plant associated with fertility and protection, were used for decoration and sacred rituals. These natural elements became part of Christmas decorations, with adorned trees and mistletoe ornaments. Yule was also a time of community. Families and communities gathered for feasts, celebrations, and rituals honoring the gods, seeking protection and prosperity. These communal banquets inspired modern Christmas feasts. Common elements and pagan legacy. What all these celebrations share is a focus on light, renewal, and unity. They helped ancient communities endure the harsh winter and celebrated the natural cycle of life. It's fascinating to see how symbols like candles, greenery, and even gift exchanges have survived over time and become part of what we now call Christmas. These festivals created a rich cultural foundation that was adapted and reinterpreted by Christianity. In the next segment, we'll explore how the church used these traditions to establish Christmas as a Christian celebration. But it's already clear that the spirit of renewal and hope associated with Christmas has roots far older than we might imagine. From paganism to Christian celebration, the fascinating history of Christmas. Imagine celebrating Christmas in a world where this date didn't even exist. Does that sound impossible? Yet this was the reality for the early Christians, who had no idea of decorated trees or festive feasts. The story of how a simple celebration of birth transformed into one of the world's largest festivals is a fascinating journey of adaptation, strategy, and faith. Did you know that for centuries no one knew when Jesus was born? Early Christians focused their devotion on Easter and Pentecost, considering the resurrection the most significant moment of their faith. But as Christianity grew, a pressing question arose. When should we celebrate the Savior's birth? Like a divine puzzle, early theologians tried to determine the date of Christ's birth. Some communities celebrated on January 6th, others on March 28th. But it was in the 4th century that a brilliant strategy forever changed the Christian calendar. Imagine being a religious leader in the 4th century, trying to convert people deeply tied to their pagan traditions. How would you proceed? The church found a brilliant solution. Why not transform a pagan festival into a Christian celebration? The choice of December 25th was no coincidence. On this date, the Romans celebrated Natalis Solis Invicti, the festival of the unconquered sun, and Saturnalia. Rather than fighting these beloved festivities, the church embraced and reinterpreted them. Under the strategic vision of Emperor Constantine, the first Christian Roman ruler, Christmas gained official status in 336 AD. It was as if a divine spotlight illuminated this date, transforming it into a landmark on the Christian calendar. Think about how your own Christmas traditions are a blend of different cultures. In the same way, the early church created a celebration that resonated with the hearts of new converts and the souls of long-standing believers alike. Not everything was smooth in this journey. As with any great change, there was resistance. Some asked, "Aren't we becoming too pagan?" Others questioned, "Where is the true spirituality in all of this?" From Puritan bans to modern adaptations, Christmas proved stronger than its critics. Why? Because it touched something deep within the human soul. The desire to celebrate, to gather, and to believe in something greater than ourselves. Today, when we light up the Christmas tree or gather for dinner, we are participating in a tradition that has spanned millennia. Each symbol, each custom, tells a story of adaptation, survival, and renewal. What can we learn from this history? Perhaps that the most enduring traditions are those that know how to adapt without losing their essence. That the true strength of a celebration lies in its ability to unite people and create meaning. The best traditions are those that evolve while keeping their soul. And so each Christmas, when the lights shine and families gather, we continue writing new chapters in this millennia-old story. A story that reminds us that sometimes the greatest transformations start with small adaptations and a lot of love. Have you ever stopped to think about how your own Christmas traditions connect with this ancient story? What elements of this journey do you recognize in your celebrations? The Forbidden Christmas, a story of conflicts and transformations. Did you know it was once a crime to celebrate Christmas? In 1659, anyone caught celebrating in Boston could be fined or even imprisoned. This is just one of the surprising stories about how our most beloved celebration has survived through the centuries. Imagine a world where decorating a Christmas tree or exchanging gifts could land you in jail. Imagine a world where celebrating the birth of Christ was considered a sin. Absurd, right? Yet in the early centuries of Christianity, many religious leaders considered the celebration of Christmas a pagan heresy. Did you know that even singing Christmas carols was seen by some as a demonic practice? During the Protestant Reformation, Christmas faced its greatest challenge. In 17th century England, under Oliver Cromwell, patrols roamed the streets looking for any signs of Christmas celebration. Families were forced to cook in secret, and children had to whisper their Christmas songs. Imagine having to hide your Christmas tree as if it were contraband. Everything changed when Queen Victoria decided to embrace Christmas. That decorated Christmas tree in your living room? We owe it to her. In 1848, an illustration of the royal family decorating their tree went viral, a 19th century version of going viral. Suddenly, having a Christmas tree became as essential as drinking tea at 5 o'clock. When Charles Dickens published A Christmas Carol, he had no idea he was about to revolutionize the celebration forever. The grumpy Ebenezer Scrooge became the perfect example of transformation, from a man who hated Christmas to someone who embodied its true spirit. Let's think. Who is the Scrooge we know today? In 1914, something extraordinary happened. Amid World War I, German soldiers began singing Stille Nacht, Silent Night, in the trenches. The British responded with Silent Night. Soon, mortal enemies were playing soccer together on the battlefield. For a brief moment, the Christmas spirit was stronger than war. With the Industrial Revolution, Christmas gained store displays. Santa Claus, once a benevolent saint, became a marketing icon. But did you know his characteristic red suit only became popular in the 1930s, thanks to a Coca-Cola campaign? In Japan, KFC fried chicken became the traditional Christmas meal. Yes, you read that right. In Australia, Santa Claus arrives on a surfboard. In Venezuela, people roller skate to Christmas Mass. Christmas has proven to be as adaptable as a recipe for eggnog. And now, in an increasingly digital world, what will Christmas look like 50 years from now? Will we still decorate real trees, or will we have holographic ones? One thing is certain, just as it has survived bans, wars, and revolutions, Christmas will continue to reinvent itself. Have you ever thought about how your own Christmas traditions have transformed over time? Perhaps your great-grandparents had to hide their celebrations, while today we share our Christmas dinners live on social media. Christmas has survived everything: bans, wars, crises, and revolutions. Why? Because beyond the decorations, gifts, and feasts, it carries something deeper: the ability to transform people, just as it transformed Scrooge. And what transformation has Christmas brought to your life? Christmas is much more than just a date on the calendar. It is the result of centuries of transformations, adaptations, and cultural fusions. What began as pagan celebrations linked to the winter solstice was transformed by Christianity into one of the most important religious dates, incorporating traditions from different cultures over time. At the same time, Christmas has continued to evolve, facing challenges like bans, criticisms, and even periods of neglect, but it always resurfaces with new meanings. Today, it is celebrated in very diverse ways, blending religious, secular, and cultural elements that reflect the spirit of each community. What makes Christmas so special is precisely this ability to adapt while keeping its core values alive: hope, unity, and renewal. Whether in a nativity scene, a lit tree, or a simple family gathering, Christmas continues to connect people and inspire moments of reflection and joy. And now, after this journey through history, which part of this evolution did you find most fascinating? Leave your thoughts in the comments and share this video with anyone who also loves discovering the past behind traditions. See you in the next video.